What's up, legends, and welcome back to the channel. So it's been a long time since my last video, the whole trying to get it up every 4 weeks thing, which I'm still going to try and do, get a video up every 4 weeks. I am going to try keep trying to achieve that, but this one's all these videos are sort of behind. That's my own fault. But today's video I want to touch on the drawers in the car. So I want to do a closer look on the drawer system and what's in, if you haven't seen any of the other videos, why we put that stuff in, how the drawers have been faring up for the last 6+ months, and if there will be any changes to specifically the drawers or 12 volt at the moment. So yeah, this video is pretty much just to get a little bit closer. I'll have a little bit of a closer look on what's in the back. New though, check this out. So I thought, since I am at the house, it's obviously a fair bit sunny, thought I'd crack the awning out. So this is sort of the third or fourth time having it out. Obviously when I first got it, I had it out and seasoned it and that good stuff, but check that out. So that's doing a wicked job of giving shade right now, so definitely going to be a massive benefit out in the bush. I'll get sort of set up here and then we'll start on looking at the drawers, and no really method of doing it. We'll just start from, let's say, start from the top and work our way down. Alright, let me jump up on my little short ass step. So again, anyone that's watched any of my other videos or follows on Instagram will know what's in the back of the car anyway. But if we start from the top of what we've got with the drawers, this is the K-On shelf. Didn't really need this. The whole idea was to get the barrier, which is just behind. But the K-On obviously do a combo where you get the barrier and the shelf, and for me, I worked out after getting the sizes of these grab me gear bags that they'll still actually manage to fit under this shelf. And all that it does do is it gives us a little bit of extra storage up the top there on that dead space that I do see a lot of people a lot of the time putting the Oki straps or whatever from one handle to the other. I thought I might as well have a dedicated shelf, and then by doing the dedicated shelf, obviously what you can see here, we were able to strap on the travel buddy with a mount. I think it's like a modified mount, and that seems to work really well. It doesn't really rattle around or move around too much. The door has a bit of play in it, but that's because I probably stuffed up when I put the insulated door on the front and messed that up a little bit. And then also inside the travel buddy, these move a very small amount whilst it's in there, but it ain't that bad. So yeah, pretty much that top shelf there. Can't remember exactly what K-On call it, but it's just the rear top shelf. I don't know. I'll go around the other side and have a look in the back, and we'll have a look at the barrier, and whilst we're in there we'll check out the water tank that's in there as well. I'm not gonna lie, this is the second time trying to shoot this video, and I didn't have my on and out the other day, and it was so hot and I was just getting all flustered, so I thought I'll try and reshoot certain sections of it. And I thought, whilst I'm here, why not put the on and out? And that is awesome. What a big difference. Same place the car was, so the sun was just beating down, but yeah, that's going to be a massive benefit. And it's nice to have an awning again. Really cool. Anyway, so this is the rear K-On again, and this is the rear barrier. And then obviously the shelf connected up the top there, travel buddy down the side. Pretty solid, and that's just at the moment on these types of brackets. So it's the brackets that wrap around the rear handles with the support from that, and then the shelf hangs off of that, and then the other section that it connects onto is you get a couple of headrest clamps, and it just goes in the back there. Obviously the seats are up, and it gives it its support for its down the bottom here through the whole thing. But it is pretty solid. It is this box here, which I'll touch on in a second, is sort of pushing against that and supporting that bit, and then obviously the travel body's fixed at the top and on the bottom here as well. Not fixed, but can't really go anywhere, so I guess that gives that a bit of support there, which I think we kind of need, because I have just sort of tweaked around with what's in the drawers and what I had up the top there. So I've only got 2 things up the top there at the moment. I did have 4 bags, but I'll show you when we look at the drawers what I've done there. Sort of gained myself a little bit of space, which is good. Plus I got a little bit of weight off the top there, and I'll find other stuff to put up there. Big difference, and a lot better, and there's not as much weight on the top. But yeah, that's pretty much the barrier and shelf at the rear there. And just before we move on, down the bottom here, so as we see when we move round to the actual front of the drawers there, there is a connection on the right hand side down the wing there, which has got my air and water, and this is where this tank feeds. So it's a BOAB tank, 50 litre I think it's 50, and that feeds a 12 volt pump just down the driver's side there. I won't show you that, but it's just a standard 12 volt water pump, 12 or 13 litres a minute, whatever it may be, and then that feeds the outlet, which we'll see when we move around the front. Just on the drawers, an added thing was the link system. I just got them to attach it there, and the cables run to that rear battery, and obviously then the cables are run all the way down the front to connect to the front batteries. That was just a back wall that we weren't using, easier than trying to find other spots up front to mount that. And then this little box here, it's actually doing nothing other than making the back there look pretty. From all the main cables that are coming in from the inner drive unit and all the other stuff, what Riley done is tied everything back to here in a bit more of a neater fashion, and then just hid it behind that, which I thought was quite cool, because there would have just been a hole there and a bunch of cables feeding everywhere else. So yeah, really neat to finish that off like that. And as for the back here, that's pretty much it. The wings at the back here, I don't really keep much. Obviously I've got my feed from my inverter coming out here, and the cables just sit there because I've got a 4-bank power point down the side there, and I just keep my jump starter and this little back section here to keep it out of the drawers, which used to be in there, is my bottle jack and factory jack. And then down the other side, obviously that's the battery, and there's no space in there at all. Yep, pretty much that is the back of the car. We'll move around the front and start working our way through that. So let's start where the fridge would be. So made to fit what I have, which is a 40 litre angle. Going to be slight changes to this area. I will touch on that at the end. But at the moment, 40 litre angle sits there. It's just over to the back there right now. Alright, I'll just move this stuff. So no fridge at the moment, but it's acting as a table for all my other stuff. Big thing about this is when I seen the drawers from John at Black Label. So yeah, Riley was up doing some previous work on the car, and he'd asked me who I was thinking about going drawers with. I know knew other companies that did drawers, but Riley just said check out Black Label. Hadn't even heard of them, if I'm totally honest with you. Went on their Instagram page, had a flick through, looked real good work, and then stumbled upon this. So it's on the typical fridge slide, which isn't the cool part, but what with wagons, I guess the big thing is space and trying to put every little possible bit of usable space in the car, because you don't have the benefit of having a ute and being able to just, you know, chuck stuff out in and have all this storage space. So yeah, when I seen this on John's Instagram page, it sold me. So not only can you get a table, it lifts up underneath here for when you want to start putting weight in this, because obviously, you know, there's got to be a point where this just won't handle it. There is a drop down leg here. Undo that, and now we can take some weight just on a magnet up there, which is real handy. Big day today, Gunnar. Been a big day. Dog's life, huh? Give us a paw. Good boy. And underneath, I mean, this is all odds and sorts at the moment. Normally, having the grab me gear bags that we carry either in the cart or in the trailer, when we get the camp, get set up, and we're pulling stuff out of the bags, we'll put it into the spots where it is all the time and where it's always going to be if needed. But yeah, this is what sold me on going with John and letting John, you know, do his thing. And then obviously you start thinking about what you want, and then it grows and grows and gets big, and then it ends up like that. But yeah, this is what sold me originally, was that slide out. Now at the end, once we're finished this, I am going to change a few little bits on this. Nothing major. The main thing of it is going to be the same. It's just going to be related to this fridge slide, but I'll touch on that at the end. And then to go along with the tap or the water connection, obviously we control the pump from there. It sends it down. So yep, pump on and off, and we have this made up. John made it up. Just the hose connector onto a standard handle, garden hose sort of accessory, and that's been real handy. And we just leave that hanging on the drawer handle there, and yeah, it seems to work real well. I'm just gonna go for it now. Where's it guys? Go on in. Go on in. Well, it's got good pressure. Maintains really good pressure. He'll chase that all day. But that's just running off that little 12-volt pump, and that's on jet. But yeah, that's maintains good pressure all the time, and has worked brilliantly. Pretty cool little thing. Let's give him some more. Ready? Alright, so next up, double stack drawers. So what was different from this one to my 76 is I had side by sides, and me being a little short ass. I mean, the drawer system was great. It was built real well, and it was functional. It did everything that we needed it to do, but I wanted a definite suited drawer system this time. So obviously, when we decided on the electrical unit, the double stack was sort of the way to go, and it sort of tied in anyway. So we had to narrow these drawers down quite a bit to be able to fit this unit in, which obviously you lose space with, but I guess it was space that I was okay losing with what I was gaining from a one-stop shop unit. You know, to lose drawer space in a wagon is massive, but the fact that I knew I had storage above and storage up the top, and with what we actually carry in the car and how I was going to carry it using all of Jimmy, the grab me gear bags, I wasn't really worried about losing that much drawer space at the end of it. So and obviously it turned out great. I'll pop open the drawers and we'll have a peek what's in them. So I've literally just kind of sorted out the drawers a little bit better. Had everything in there, everything that was in there still in there, and then added a few extra things in. That's how I freed up some space along the top there. But obviously you're always tweaking drawers as we use this more and we know what I'm grabbing more. That will change again. Some stuff will head back up top, some stuff will stay, and then we'll change stuff out. But at the moment, this is kind of what works for us. So this was a recent change. This is my puncture repair kit. This used to be in the ARB box, but the box took up so much room that I couldn't fit that in there with everything that's in there at the moment. And when I take it all out, you'll see how much stuff's in there. But I had obviously a bunch of grab me gear bags and thought, you know what, I'll take the stuff out of there and put it in a smaller bag that I had and make it work. And now that fits in on top, and the drawer will still close, which is like brilliant. So we carry my puncture repair kit. Again, another one of the bags. This one is the Gearmate 5, so they're two Gearmate 5s for that. It's got a heavy duty mallet in there and just a series of tent pegs and other stuff. So air up kit. I carry, so at the moment in my airbox I've got the Duramax box, which is what Moonlight do. I've got my last paper filter, which is a Wix filter, in there, and after that I'm going to start running the uni filter. So it's a uni filter and a spare change out foam element that I can, if need be, clean it with the oils and the kit and the clean kit. So yeah, two uni filters for the airbox, and also two pre-filters for the snorkel as well, the 5-inch snorkel. It's handy. This is one thing I pulled down from the top, which was a mass selection of straps and tie downs, Oki straps and some ratchets at the bottom there, just because the last couple of trips I've needed to grab them for putting stuff up on the roof, and it's a bugger to get it down from at the top there. So starting to collect a bunch of spares, greases, cable ties, like a whole load of different sizes. CRC, WD-40, some hydraulic oil for my jack if I need be, duct tape, lecky tape. That's going to grow and get bigger and bigger. I'm going to try and have a dedicated tool bag with my tools, which I've got in the footwell of the rear seat in a big grab me gear bag. But that will continue to grow. Like, I've still got a bunch of stuff to buy. Stuff that I can use to fix stuff up on the road with if things break or get a hole or whatever. I'll have to build this up as I go. And then lastly, it's a heavy one. Massive bag, and I really need to sort this out because there is stuff in here that we don't use. But massive bag of cables and connectors and stuff for my solar panel, which is up the top there. Gauges and other little bits and bobs, but there is some stuff in here that I'll need to sort out because we don't really use all this, and it's really heavy and it takes up a lot of space. But that is everything. I mean, that's a lot of stuff in bags, and the great thing about it is it's all organised. So kind of this drawer is more the tool drawer, spares drawer, and will continue to be the Fix-It-E drawer, and obviously all the heavy stuff. We keep all the heavy stuff on the bottom drawer. Just helps the drawer, I guess, keep all the heavy stuff on the bottom drawer. Kind of makes sense. I'll throw all this stuff back in and we'll have a peek what's up the top. Alright, top drawer. I'll probably bring you closer, and I use my little short stick. So, what's in the top drawer? So, now this box goes way back to my old 76. It's a Bunnings box, $6 or $7. And then just a few sort of supplies in there. Sugars and salt and peppers, coffee and teas and the few little bits that we use. A few extra spaces. I think we had hot chocolate and some chai latte stuff in there, but that's been a handy ass box. Fits sort of long ways up here, and you know, it's taken a beating, still going. It's brilliant. Next, so this could cause controversy. I'm only kidding. But coffee pods for the pod machine, which I'll show you in a second. Some flavouring and a milk frother. So I'll touch on the pod machine and whatnot, the whole reason why it's in there when we get to it, but yeah, it pretty much just houses that. Next bag, again, things for boiling water and coffee, for coffee or whatever. But the jet boil, that's a Sumo one, it's a little bit big, and a couple of spare gas bottles for that. Now that thing we use all the time, and you know, anyone that doesn't have a jet boil, they are you know, they are well worth the money. They are expensive, but they are well worth the money. That's the jet boil one, and the last bag that's in that drawer is our main source of cooking. I say main source, but the first and foremost thing that we'll grab if we're cooking from the car. It's just a single burner Primus. I've had it for ages. I got it ages ago when I bought one of Jimmy's kits. Carry the gas bottle in there, and then the bag up the top there has a few spare bottles. They're out there, out the way. And yeah, that's pretty much what's in that top drawer. So obviously top drawer being more of the supply drawer with the coffees and the whatever else we need to, and not so much a pantry, and I'll touch on where our pantry would be if we're running the car only up the top there. And obviously all this is really light, so it doesn't pose a problem. I'll stack all this back in there and we'll have a look at the pod machine. Okay, so this is the part in the video where everyone goes, oh look at that wanker, it's got a pod machine, coffee machine. And yeah, I do. Was the intention to go out when I was building the drawers and go, I'm putting in a pod, you know, coffee machine, and we're gonna run this all the time? Absolutely not. Obviously it's a 240 volt coffee machine, so it does draw a lot of power. The idea of having that in there is that I had a space there that I didn't really know what I'd put in there. In my last car, down the wings, it was nothing, it was blank fronted, and you'd lift up the side and you'd put stuff in there. The trouble is with that is I used to stack stuff on the wings all the time, so it was I had to move everything to get into the side wings, and it was just a pain in the ass. So the other side obviously covered with the battery and that panel, so nothing goes in there ever. And you seen what I had in the back. There is nothing in the back section there because of that hassle. It's just difficult, and for us when we're out, we just can't be bothered with difficult. So John said we can fit a little pod machine in there. I said, wow, well, why not? Let's put it in there. Let's have a look. So just a pod machine, nothing fancy. A little bit fancier than, well, you know, the majority of people. But the only reason why the majority of people wouldn't is because to run that you need to have an inverter. And to touch on having the inverter later or after this, nothing else is going in this space. The whole thing of having this here is we do normally run the jet boil or the mocha pots, the stovetop ones, and that's pretty much what we run majority of the time camping. The really great thing about this is when you can't be bothered, you know, getting out all the other stuff out, and it's windy or cold and or whatever it is, you know, pouring down with rain, and you just want to get back in your swag or back in undercover somewhere else, I can turn that on from the inverter, push a button, stick a cup under it, and get a short black, long black, whatever it might be, really quick. and then if I want to go to the trouble of plugging in the frother there where the batteries are plugged into at the moment, push a button again, and it's really quick and easy. Do we use this every single day, all day long? No, because we just don't have, you just wouldn't have the battery power for it. Anyway, either way, little pod machine in the wing, in the space that we weren't going to use for anything else, and it does work really well. It is pretty cool. Last thing to really talk about up the top here, and just adjust the camera, is obviously above the fridge and the power unit. So we kind of briefly spoke about the shelf and the space underneath that, but when I kitted out the car with the bags, I had 16 bags made up originally, and it was a bag for every spot that I could find in the back here. Obviously we've taken some out because we just, we have a lot of stuff in the drawers and whatnot, and things work elsewhere, but on top of here was always going to be storage for other stuff that we can't fit in the drawers. So what we pretty much run up here most of the time, normally how we would run this if we are about to head camping like tomorrow, at the back here, another thing that goes with the electrical system is backup cooker, which is a induction cooktop. Haven't really played too much with that yet, but because again we just use the single burner gas stove, but we have an induction cooktop there, and that does come in handy when we do need to have one or two, more than one pot on cooking, or to boil water really quickly, because the induction cooktop just seems to do that a lot better than the gas. So that's the induction cooktop in there, again in the grabbing gear bag. On this section here on the back, and it just fits in with minimal space up the top from that shelf, is this where we keep all our pots and pans. So I've got a Hillbilly square fry pan, a Hillbilly normal sort of frying pan, like a larger sort of standard fry pan. So that's all in that back bag there. And then space at the front. So again, at the moment I've got the solar panel there, but what happens is I've got two bags, and we'll run this as our pantry, these two, and we'll put all our dry foods there. So we'll have tins and whatever else there, and we can have our chips and other stuff here under some tie downs, because under here is where I normally keep, this isn't normally here, but at the moment it's a pan and brush that goes under there, and I put my stools under there as well, my little short man steps, that lives up there underneath the hockey straps. It just stops it moving around. But yeah, pretty much that is the drawers. So, electrical unit, what have we got? It is the Inner Drive Adventurer pack, and it is a beast. So what is it? It is literally a one-stop shop for everything. It's got the inverter down the bottom, 2000 watt inverter down the bottom here. It has the DC-DC charger at the top, and a 240 charger, and then obviously all the fuses. 4 switches here. At the moment I'm running fridge switch, my pump switch, my travel buddy switch, and this switch, which was about to get occupied in the next day or two. This is going to be for my lights, so I'm going to have a light bar running under here on a separate switch, and also what I'll run off there is I'll get a few lights under the awning eventually. Again, there'll be one switch that powers them all, and then the rest of the lights will be on a separate switch, but there's not going to be too much, if I'm honest with you. There's a big light that comes up on the tailgate here, one of those interchangeable colour ones, and it'll be something similar under the awning as well eventually, but I don't really need a lot. Under the tailgate for cooking and whatnot, yeah, that's going to be a massive deal, but for the rest of it really, if we don't have firelight, I've got these little lantern things that just put out a small glow, which is kind of cool. 4 USB points. Now obviously USBs, everything's going to USB recharge. I kind of probably need a 12 volt socket, so that might change one of these out at one point. But at the moment, not missed it, because most of the time we've got the trailer with us and there's loads of 12 volt plugs on there. I might change one of these out at some point with one of those, so I've got the best of both worlds. And then the only other thing here is the Cymarine screen, so I'll try and get a bit closer. So this is sort of the device that we can keep an eye on what's going on. And I honestly don't need much, to be honest with you. I don't need the sort of amount of stuff that the Red Vision can give you and controls. I'm a switch guy and like sort of manual switches, which I've got enough there, and down the side. All I need to know is what my battery's doing, so I've got battery percentage, rough estimate of how long I guess that's going to take to discharge. What's actually the percentage capacity of the battery, and then what's actually happening. So right now I'm obviously pulling 2.8 amps, and that'll be just to charge these little things up, but that's also running through the inverter. So but yeah, that's all really I need to know, is where my battery's at, what's going in or out, and how long. I guess there is other stuff in here. I've got the shunt that measures obviously the amp draw, but that's on the main screen there. You can get temperature of the actual unit itself. I don't even know what that is, the barograph. I'm guessing it's a pressure thing, but I don't really need to know that. There is obviously settings in the background, and you can hook on like water tank level sensors, which I might look at in the future, but I have 50 litres in that tank there. I'll fill it up before we go away for a weekend, or I'll just pop the lid off and dip it, I guess, for the level, or just have a look in with a torch. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, because I mean, the inner drive unit obviously is it's a one-stop shop unit, so there's a lot going on, but there's not really. And I think it's the whole thing about the drawers. Like, people that see the drawers go, wow, like there's a lot going on there, and there is, but it's still very simple to a degree. I've got two drawers. I've got one panel where everything is electrically. There's not cables running everywhere else. So that's pretty much it for the drawers. Like, I've probably missed some stuff, but again, this was just like a little bit of a closer look at the drawers. So obviously, if I have missed something and anyone sees that in the video and wants to ask me something about something, just put a comment down on the video, or flick me a message on Instagram or whatever. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So far, everything's been fantastic. Drawers have been great. Electrical stuff's all been great. And we will continue to trial it out and experiment with some stuff. I did mention at the start of the video that I was going to change some stuff, so I'll show you what I am thinking about. It's all to do with the fridge space here. So at the moment, obviously a 40 litre angle will go in there. Having played with this a little bit of time now, and letting my OCD probably run me a little bit too much, I've always known, because we put this table in here, made it a little bit thicker, that it was going to hit on the tailgate here with the fridge lid, and that bugs me. Not enough to go and do it instantly or straight away, but it does bug me. And then also, I'm a short ass and my wife is shorter than I am. If to see into the fridge or whatever, it becomes a bit of a pain. So what the plan is we're going to keep the slide out for a table. I'm going to replace this section here with two drawer fridges. So we are restricted on what drawer fridges we can put in there because of the size of the or the width of the space there. We are going to be able to get two 30 litre angles in. It does sort of help us in a way, because at the moment we're only running a 40 litre angle. It means that we're going to be able to run 60 litres of fridge if we're running both of them as a fridge. Most of the time it will be that way, but then we do have the option to turn it around and run one as a freezer, one as a fridge. which then means that we don't need to rely on having the trailer if we want to just go away with the car for a week or whatever. So it's going to help that side. What's it going to do is going to draw more, 2 of the fridges instead of the 1. Probably not much more, but we've got the battery capacity anyway to be able to deal with that. So I'm not really worried about what we're going to be drawing wise. And I don't think I've been anywhere yet where I've been close to getting that worry. I think going lithium was for us was the big one. We lose that power worry when we're out and about. I don't even think about if I'm going to be close or is the fridge going to conk out overnight or whatever. That's pretty much the drawers, and that's kind of the end of the video. I think the next one that I want to shoot real quick, I'm going to try and get this one edited as soon as I can and get it out because I am way behind. But the next one that I want to do is I guess the last phase of the car. So it'll be the phase 4, because we've been up to PDP and they've done what I needed done there. There's a few extra goodies that I got on performance-y wise and also mechanically wise to help us out. And then that'll kind of be it. I will touch on the awning in a bit more detail in that video, and then it only leaves a couple of things to get done physically to bolt onto the car, and that's like a long range fuel tank and a rear bar. But another video that I'm going to do is to weigh the car. I'm going to weigh the car in the next couple of days as it is. It's going to be loaded because I'm going to go for a night out with Tim from Big Easy Adventures. I'm going to load the car up, I'm going to load the fuel up and fill the water tank, have what I would have camping minus the dog and the wife, weigh the car, and then see where we are weight wise, because as somebody called me out on from a way earlier video, after getting the 4-ton GVM upgrade I didn't think I'd be anywhere near it. I knew I'd stack on weight quickly, but I just want to get the weight of the car before we start putting anything else on, because I don't want to be in a situation where we can't pull the trailer. I'll just have to manage fuel if that's the case, but anyway, that'll be another video. So there should be 3 videos, and I'll try and play catch up as well. As always, I hope you've liked the video. Please like the video. Please subscribe as well to the channel. I'm gonna obviously keep doing more of these. I'll start to do some review videos soon. Short-term review on the tires, short-term review on I guess the drawers and how everything's going in a bit more detail. And I've got some new products that I've bought that I haven't tried yet, but I will try out, so I'll touch on them. But yeah, subscribe and check it out, and also jump onto the Instagram, follow along there. Probably stays updated a bit more than the old YouTube, but yeah. Alright, cheers guys, catch you in the next one.